Alright, part 2 of task 6 is going to start with us making a game state. I believe we did this previously, so an enum called game state, which is going to have the options for gameplay, menu. I'll throw in a pause option even though I'm not going to use it just yet, and then use that game state to create a current game state, which I'm going to begin it at the menu. So in our update method, pretty much all of this is just about gameplay, so I'm going to refactor that, extract it into a update gameplay method instead. So now I can minimize that and put in a switch. So switch based on the current game state. We're either going to have a current game state of gameplay, which is where that comes in, don't forget to break, or a game state of menu, or a game state of pause, which I'm not going to do, but I'll put in the wee stub code there. So during the menu we're going to do update menu instead of update gameplay, and that doesn't exist yet, so let's generate it. Quick actions, generate method. And if we go to definition, you can see the code here, puts in the exception, take that out. You don't want your game to crash deliberately. So in the menu, what are we going to see? Well, I guess we just wait for the player to press a key. When you press the, let's make it P for play key, that's when we spawn a tank, spawn an alien wave. Because we're doing it here, we don't need to do it in the initialize, so take those two out. And in fact, come to think of it, we could probably put those two lines in there as well. Set up the tank, the aliens and the bullets. Oh yeah, we should give the player 3 lives. Score would go to 0, but we've not got a score yet, so I'll put that in as a comment. Let's say to do, so it's a reminder we can search for. And that's your update for the menu. So let's do the draw for the menu next. And it's going to be very similar to this switch here for the update, so I'll copy that. Draw. But instead of doing update gameplay, it's going to be draw gameplay, which doesn't exist yet, don't worry, and draw menu, which also doesn't exist yet. So this code here, this is what's used to draw gameplay. Cut that, generate the draw gameplay, and paste it over that exception. So same code in draw gameplay. I could have used the highlight and extract, just 2 different ways of doing the same thing. Also generate a draw menu, which I pasted the same code in, but it's not going to do all of that. I just was lazy and didn't want to type straight batch beginning and end. Oh, actually, I can be even more lazy. Just change this text here. Press B to play. Now, where would we draw that? We should really work out this vector using measure string. Do the y-axis first, so that can be roughly halfway down the screen. Graphics device dot viewport dot height, halfway down the height of the screen. The x-axis, graphics device dot viewport dot width divided by 2. That'll put it in the middle, but it puts the left-hand side of the text in the middle. So we want to subtract half the width of the text, and we get that by taking the font and measuring the string in it. When you do that, it returns a vector, so I get the x width divided that by 2. Okay, so halfway across the screen minus halfway across the width of the string of text in that font. Okay, so we've got too many commas. So we put the middle of the text in the middle of the screen. Let's see if that works. F5 to run. We get our menu. If I press P, does it change? No. Because I forgot one vital thing, of course, didn't I? When you update the menu, when you press P to play the game, we're still in the menu. So we need to change the current game state to gamestate.gameplay. Hope you noticed that at home. Alright, press B to play, and off it goes. There is a bug there. I deleted the spawn alien wave from initialize because I didn't need it anymore, but let's put it back in just so you can see the bug. I can't actually see it because there's actually two lots of aliens there. You couldn't see it because they're on top of each other. Well, we'll deal with it later. I'll leave the bug in so you'll see it actually happen later when we start hitting the aliens. Okay, so we've got two different screens, and during the update gameplay I'm going to hit F12 to jump to it. We can stick in here, we just lost a life, we can say if life is less than or equal to 0, then current game state equals gamestate.menu. We're not going to have a game over screen yet, you can add that yourself if you want. But just for now, it should go to the menu when you lose all your lives. As I said, the bug with the respawning of aliens is there. Once we run this a couple of times, you'll see too many aliens and you'll lose too many lives when you hit them. Hopefully you understand what I mean when you see it. This one, this first iteration should be fine. You'll come down, you'll lose one life per alien, and then bam, to the menu. Press P to play again though, and you can see we've still got all the aliens there. Every time we press P to start a new lot, more aliens are spawned. So, let's go to the spawn alien wave method. There's a simple way to deal with that. Just before you do any of this stuff, take the alien list, and with the dot command you can see things you can do with a list. One of them is clear it out. Easy. Okay, so that's alien colliding with player. What about alien colliding with bullet? Well, let's go to the update again. This is the update gameplay in this case. We're currently looking through aliens to check for hitting player. I think we might be best to copy and paste that just in case. We could try and combine the collisions into one thing, but let's not get too fancy here. As we look through the aliens, update their hitbox. We don't really need to do that again, do we? We've done up here, so we can take that line out. The player bullet hitbox. Oh, the player bullet hitbox. I'm not sure that's been updated, so let's do that. If it hits the alien's hitbox, we remove the alien. We would gain some score. We don't have a score yet. You know what? Let's add a score in. And every time you press P, the score will be reset to 0. And now, when there's an intersection between the player bullet and an alien, we can get some points. There will be a bug. Let's try it. It just fires straight through all the aliens. We haven't removed the laser. What's the right way to remove the laser? Well, in this case, the laser reacts as if it's been removed from the game by placing it above the top of the screen. So let's do that here as well. The Y coordinate is -1000. That should give us more or less what we want. It's not perfect. I think we may be able to hit multiple aliens. I'm not sure about that. But also, the quicker you hit an alien, the quicker you can respawn the bullet. I'm not too worried about that just now though. It's starting to look a bit like a game. What happens when you run out of aliens? Well, in this case, nothing. You can just keep shooting aliens. Once you run out of aliens, it's going to keep updating an empty list. You know, I think I might increase the speed of that bullet. I'll go straight to it. This drop down, by the way, you can use to go straight to a method or a variable declaration. So what do we call it? Spawn. Oh no, it was update the menu, wasn't it? So when you update the menu, press P. Power bullets. Speed is 12. Don't make it go too fast, or it could go straight through an alien. Okay. By the way, one of the other benefits of using a list in this case is this thing here. When I kill all the aliens on one edge, it will no longer check for those aliens on the edge because they're not there. I can't even do it. Can anyone play Space Invaders here? So the rest of the aliens go all the way to the edge. And that may or may not have happened in an array depending on how you programmed it. There we go. The alien's all dead. Nothing happens. So how do we deal with that? Well, in the gameplay update, we check if the aliens count, which we used before, is 0. And if that's the case, then there must be no enemies left on the screen. And if that happens, we simply spawn a new alien wave. Here we go again. There's not much left for me to show you because I want you to do the alien bullets yourself. I'll give you a few tips on that a bit later. The other thing we need is the shields, and I might throw in some sound effects and other bits and pieces. We'll see if we have time without making the video too long. Here comes the last alien. There we go, resets. Now, as usual, it's usually a good idea to do this for multiple levels. You can't just see it happen once and assume it's correct, because the very act of respawning all the aliens could break something. It always seems to go through the middle of them, doesn't it? Or is that just because I suck at it? Yeah, that seems to be working. Okay, so let's do the shields. We know there's always going to be 3 shields, so let's just make it an array in this case. An array of sprites called shields. And it's going to be 3 of them. Now we should give the shields a health. Now I could go back and give every sprite a health variable, but I'm just going to make it an array of integers to match it. Either approach is fine. I think putting a variable in into the sprite class is probably a better approach in the long run, although you might want to make a subclass to make that properly. I'm going to avoid doing all the hard work, so I'm just going to make 3 integers instead. So because each integer represents the health of the corresponding shield, we just make sure the index always matches up and you'll be good to go. So, spawn alien wave, spawn tank. We also want spawn shields. Let's generate that. And press F12 to go to it. Take out the exception. Shield 0 to shield 3. Go through them one by one. And then shield S is a new sprite. Shield S image is going to be loaded in. I think it was just called shield. Try to keep the name simple this time. and then shields S position. Position is going to be worked out, but the x-axis, well, let's do the y first actually. The y-axis is just going to be 600. I kind of eyeballed that and figured that's a good value to use. The x-axis though, if we take S, which is remember 0, 1 or 2, so it stops at 3. 0, 1 or 2 times 300, so that'll be 0, 300 or 600. That's they're 200 pixels apart. And let's just move it in a bit from the left as well, like a margin again. While we're at it though, set the shield health at that same index to be 3. It takes 3 hits before it disappears. And that's your shields spawning. For loop to draw them. Draw menu, draw gameplay. For S equals 0 to 3. But we'll only draw them if the shield's health is greater than 0. If it has health left, we draw it. If it doesn't have health left, we do not draw it. But if we do draw it, oh, hang on, shield health, which one? Well, the one we're looking at. So we draw shield S image and shield S position with shield S tint. They're all the same tint and image, but at the moment you could always change that, I suppose. And I think that should do it. What have I got wrong? Yeah, mixed up my iterators there. There we go, 3 shields, no collision yet, but they are drawn on the screen. Let's do a collision check with bullets. Oops, not there though, because that is the draw method. Update gameplay, that's what we want. Starting to get a bit gnarly around here again. Wonder if I can refactor this a bit. Player bullet, aliens. Let's do the alien movement, refactor that out. This is collisions. So let's do collisions, I guess. In fact, not do collisions, that's a slightly misleading name. Check for collisions. Because I won't always be one. Alright, so we are doing another collision. Let's go and check that out here. During check collisions, we check for tank collision check with alien. And then player bullet collision check with alien. And then we're going to do player bullet collision check with shield. Let's put all the updates together as far as we can. Just tidy things up a little bit. So player bullet collision with shield. Same for loop as usual. I'm so lazy I'm not even copying and pasting, but it's the same for loop, exactly the same. You could just copy and paste it and just change what's inside. So shields S dot update hitbox, just in case this one has been removed from the screen. I don't see that happening just now, but you never know. If the player bullet hitbox intersects with the shields hitbox and the shield health for that shield is greater than 0. So if it's still alive and you've hit it, then what do we do? Well, that shield health for that shield goes down by 1, and we remove the player bullet from the screen by giving it a large negative Y coordinate. Let's see if that works. 1, 2, 3, gone, and we can shoot through it. Seems good to me. We do get a rather rapid fire rate underneath it, but that's not a big deal. And final collision check. Aliens collision check with shields. Okay, so we've got 3 shields and up to 60 aliens. We need 2 loops, one within another. Let's start with the aliens one. And then a shields one. I might rename the iterator because single letter iterators are generally bad. You can get away with it if it's a small local loop. This is going to be a little bit larger, so I'm going to make it A for alien and S for shield. If you must use single letter variables, this is probably the only valid time to use them. Some people wouldn't even say so about that. But anyway, check if alien A, if its hitbox intersects the hitbox of shield S. And if it does, oh sorry, and of course the shield is still alive, so it's got shield health S equals 0. If an alien hits a shield that's still alive, then shield health goes down by 1. Remove the alien at position A, not S, and make A go back 1, just so we don't overstep our bounds. Done again. We don't need to remove the shield because as soon as the shield health goes to 0, we'll stop drawing it and stop doing collision checks with it. That's pretty much it. As I say, we'll quickly go over the other bits and bobs. Maybe throw in a few sound effects and whatnot. Come on, we should have 3 aliens killed per shield. Yeah, that's worked. Go on. Difficulty's not up to par. I guess it will be once they start shooting back though. Oh wait, so song and sound effects, I guess. Song, background music, doesn't recognise the word song. Some sound effects for shoot, die, and kill alien. I'll put in an SND on the end so we can tell that these are sounds. Don't forget to put in the usings for them. We then copy and paste those declarations down to load content. Not because I want to declare them, but just so that I don't have to type in the variable names again. I think I just called it BGM. Probably got these names wrong, I don't remember them all, but we can sort them in a moment. Copy and paste that, I was mistaken. Good job, David. Okay, so shoot, is that the right name? Shoot, yes, smash, and explosion. Sounds are loaded. Get the media player to play the background music. And when you press the space bar to shoot, shoot sound plays. When you lose a life, die sound plays. Oops. And when you gain some points by killing an alien, kill alien sound plays. While I'm at it, why don't we put a background picture in? background called? Is it just background? No, space BG, space background. And we'll draw the space background in all of the game states. So I'll do another sprite patch begin and end before we do anything else, and we'll just draw the background. Now, if I make a vector 2 with 0, 0, it'll draw it in the top left corner, but I suspect my image is not the right size. Let's let it see. Right, so it's handy. With on the outside. And also we need to watch the colouring on the aliens now. So we'll make it, instead of random between 0 and 255, let's make it random between 150 and 255. You no longer need to be concerned about having too little of blue, or sorry, too much of blue so that you can't see it. So let's keep it consistent. And the sound was too loud, so we need to get media player volume, which is the integer, floating point. So I'm guessing if we set that to 0.4f, that'll be 40% volume. Yep. It's not fully playable yet. We need to get enemy bullets in. So I'm not going to show you how to do that. That's something I want you to try out yourself. But to give you a few tips, I would make an array of 3 enemy bullets, set them all up off screen, load the images, similar to how we did it for the single bullet, but in an array. During the gameplay, get a random number generated and like give it a random between 0 and 100. And if it's less than say 4 or something, that's like a 4% chance per frame. Remember though, so that's 60 times a second. And if it gets that 4% chance, then look through the bullets, or randomly choose one, I don't mind, so that you figure out which bullet you can actually use to fire. And if none of them are available, if all 3 of them are already on the screen, just don't do anything. But if the bullet is on the screen, then pick an alien to launch it from, and that's the tricky part. There's loads of ways to do that. You could just randomly choose an alien, but then you have the problem where the bullet could just go through the alien below it. If you had them in an XY array, you could pick a column and walk down the column until you find the lowest one. You can't really do that, but we could do something similar. You could keep a variable, you could keep track of the lowest Y coordinate of aliens, look through all the aliens and figure out which one's got the lowest Y coordinate. Once you've got that, you don't want to use that alien specifically because it might not be the only alien at that height. So once you've got that coordinate, keep on randomly choosing aliens until you find one with that Y coordinate, and that's the alien you want to launch from. So now you've got that, you position the bullet underneath that alien, same as we positioned the bullet above the tank, and get it moving down the screen. You need to do the collision between the bullet and the shield. You need to do the collision between the bullet and the player. And I guess you should probably now save and load the high score. We don't have a high score yet. Let's plug one in quickly. High score 0. I'm not going to load and save it. I'll leave that bit up to you. But we will draw it. In fact, I might even draw it in the general draw, so we can always see what the high score is. So use main font. Well, eyeball it for now, it's just a sample. Let's say X of 250. And what text do we want to draw? High score combined with high score variable. guess I should really have drawn the score as well. Let's do that in the gameplay. So your score, let's do it in lowercase so it comes out in yellow. Your score is there. The high score won't change. Let's make sure we sort that out. So when your life goes to 0 and you go back to the menu, we then check if your score beats the high score, and if it does, then the high score becomes your score. So let's see that in action. High score 0, start the game, your score is 0. Basics of a high score. I'll leave the loading saving up to you, and also the alien bullets. There's loads more you could add to it. You could put in a mothership. You could put in power-ups. You can make it move across in stages, one block at a time, like it did in the original arcade game. But that should be enough to be getting on with, and I'll come back to you with the wrap up soon. Cheers.